So we are launching into a month, this month. The national budget will be read and presented to Ugandans next week. And of course, in doing this, we need to understand what's in the budget, which monies are going where. But the good news is, according to an Open Budget Survey report 2023, Uganda ranked 59th across the world as one of the countries that are very open or transparent when it comes to the national budget. And in East Africa, we actually led with 59 points, followed by Kenya, which had 55 points, Rwanda with 50, and of course, others did not fare that well. Many of them did not get the global average of 45 points, meaning that we are up to something and onto something great. So I'm having a conversation regarding the same, what have been the key lessons picked over the years? How have we got here as a country? Because this is no small feat for us to be in this position. It means government has taken efforts and mechanisms into place to ensure that we are as transparent as possible when it comes to the national budget. Now, Penina,
yes,
according to the Uganda Debt Network, what would you say are your successes that the organization has achieved over the years towards transparency of the budget?
Yes, thank you very much. Like when you look at the past reports, like you've been seeing that we've been giving recommendations, they've been giving recommendations to the Ministry of Finance, to the Auditor General, and to the legislature. Those recommendations have been taken on so that to improve our transparency. Like when you look at the budget website, that was one of the recommendations, and it was taken on, and information usually there, it is published. Though, and most of, actually I can say it's usually on time. In case they are late, at least they are 3 weeks late. Okay. But the information is usually there on their website. And then so there's another recommendation on, for the Auditor General to create a website whereby whereby citizens can report on issues of service delivery, and it is there, the citizens feedback platform. And I think that's why we even scored so high in oversight. Yes, and we improved so well. In oversight. Yes. And I see a big smile on your face because really that's what you do.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Interesting. And I'll ask you the same question that I posed to Mr. Munginda here. Of what benefit is budget transparency to the citizens?
Yes, when you look, when there is transparency in the budget, at least people get to know where the resources are being allocated.
Yes.
Because now people were complaining about taxes, they're charging the taxes, what, we don't know where the money is going. But at least when there is openness, they will really try to appreciate the government's initiatives, what it is doing, where it is putting the resources, and how it's utilizing the money. At least through transparency, they can know what the government is really doing and how it's striving to make it to them. Then the other thing is when the government is transparent, people can be satisfied with what they are getting. Because most times, actually, they question, like, probably those people, like, they are corrupt, Uganda is corrupt, what. But in case there is some openness in it, at least people can try to appreciate government's efforts. At least there's limited corruption, and at least there is some, like, satisfaction from the citizens.
Well, Penina, I don't know whether my viewers would agree with you entirely, because yes, there is the transparency of showing us the numbers.
Yes.
That here is 1 billion going to do this. Here is 500 million going to do this. But away from giving us the numbers as a country, that this is what we have budgeted for, I am quite on the fence when it comes to what the money is used for. Are we sure there is transparency when it comes to that? Because you see the budget, and a few months later, you're going to see supplementary budgets. Are you sure that it is entirely transparent, or the transparency only stops at these are the numbers, this is what we plan, and the rest, you don't really know where it goes? As you, the oversight body, what do you say about that?
Okay, when it comes to, because transparency usually looks at how they compare, like the budget documents are uploaded on the website.
Yes.
So when you talk about that, that is public participation in the budget.
Yes.
How is the public engaged in the budget? Most times Ministry of Finance engages us when it comes to when the budget is in the process at the beginning, formulation part. But when it comes to implementation and approval, the public is left aside. And when you look at our scores, at least Uganda is really deteriorating when it comes to the performance of public participation.
Yes.
At least by 2017, we were around 29. But when you look at it now, we are at 15.
What explains the difference from 29 to 15? That's quite a big gap.
Yes, there's a big gap because like the participation, like people are not involved in they're not involved in the process of the implementation and approval. Like they can't give in their views and they may probably recommendations.
So what I hear that you're saying is that at the uploading of the budget documents, we are doing very good.
Yes.
But when it comes to involving people in the implementation, we are lacking, and we have gone from 29 to 15.
No, the 29 was for 2017, but last year it was 19.
Still not good. The numbers, you know, and you're the numbers people, and they say numbers don't lie, right?
True,
so I'll come back here to the Minister of Finance. Why are the numbers going down? Why is it that when it comes to involving citizens in implementation, we are doing poorly?
Well, that's the debate, but as far as we are concerned, as a ministry, we are trying our best to involve all stakeholders. For instance, when you look at the implementation of the parish development model, it's the people at the grassroots who are in charge of the resources.
Okay.
Money goes straight from the treasury to the people at the parish level. That is involving the people to plan, to do what the priorities they have agreed through their circles. When you look at a Myoga, money goes to the circles, they know how much they have, and they plan how to deploy this money. And we are involving key stakeholders, including Parliament. In the past, you know how they pass the budget, and they call, you see, when they are in Parliament, they call all stakeholders to participate in the discussions and how these resources are going to be deployed. We engage local governments. This money sometimes goes to local governments. The local governments, they also have, right now, the basic planning unit is the parish.
Yes.
The local governments work with their parishes to ensure that the resources are put to the right use. So as far as we are concerned, we are trying our best to ensure that all stakeholders are involved, not only in the planning, but also the implementation of the government programs. And this money goes right down to where these activities are taking place.
I like that you do mention the government initiatives like a Myoga parish development model, but we have had so many allegations of fraud when it comes to the management, or should I even call it the mismanagement of government funds, especially the ones that are geared towards the parish development model. And here, where is the gap? Because if you say that as Minister of Finance, you release the funds to local parishes, and then that's where the mismanagement happens, where is the gap? What has been, which parts has probably the ministry missed before this money is released? Because you're the big brother, you release the money. And if you release this money and it is mismanaged, could it be that there is something you didn't do right before this money was released to the parishes?
Thank you very much. First of all, as a ministry, we've not received a report that this money has been mismanaged.
Just this year, the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Thomas Daiwa, was asking the Prime Minister to look into the mismanagement of the funds.
Well, we are still waiting for that report
as
a ministry, because we have various implementers. at that point where we see that money has been, of course, government will do sanctions.
So, Mr. Munginda, you're telling me that you've never seen a report, even one, where it shows that there has been mismanagement of the parish development model funds?
No, as a Minister of Finance,
As a Minister of Finance,
we have not received a report showing that the money we've sent to the parishes has been mismanaged.
Interesting. Let me go back to you, Ms. Naiga. Are you also concerned with government initiatives and how the monies that have been dispersed are handled, or that is something someone else does? As Uganda Debt Network?
As Uganda Debt Network, you are really concerned. Because when you look at the grassroots, when you look at the grassroots, people are not appreciating what government is doing.
Okay.
And government is saying, but we're giving these people all the resources that we have. We are trying to improve them. We are trying to do this for them. But citizens are not appreciating. So I think there is some gap between the communication, I think, both between the receiving end and then those people sending in the money. I think there's something that we need to look at as government and then citizens to bridge up that, to find a way of bridging the gap. Yes.
Okay, Mr. Munginda, coming back to the Ministry of Finance and Economic Development, how does the ministry plan to address areas that have been identified as needing improvement by the OBS report?
First of all, before I go to the OBS report, we have a minister in charge of microfinance.
Yes.
And part of his role is to monitor. And over the last year, he has been moving all over the country. And you can see that people have benefited from the Myoga. People's lives are changing across the country. Recently, he was in Isebei. The same applies to the Minister for Investments.
Yes.
They have been moving around the country. So it's also not true to say that people are not benefiting and they are not happy with what is happening in the country. There may be gaps, but a lot has happened and people's lives are changing, and we are very sure that these programs, especially Myoga and PDM, are going to transform the lives of the people. What we want right now is to have effective implementation, and all stakeholders, including civil society, have a role to play in ensuring that the resources we deploy to the people are used correctly for the benefit of the people. So I call upon all stakeholders, including the civil society, to ensure that this money which goes there is properly used and properly accounted for. And that's why we're in a partnership with our partners.
Okay, I like that at least you have highlighted that.
Yes. Regarding the gaps in the budget survey, we are doing all we can. First of all, like you heard her saying, we have processes that for ensuring that this budget information is out there in the people. That budget website is a very critical tool, and right now there's no information you require about the budget that you cannot find on the budget website. We have a toll-free number in case you need to find out, which we normally give all our stakeholders. If you want any budget information, you can call 0800 299 299. That's the toll-free number.
0800
299 299.
Well, that's the number you can call.
You can call if you have anything you want to know about the budget.
Right.
But we continue ensuring that all this information is out there in the public, especially about the budget. And that's why every quarter we have a press engagement where we give out the monies that are going to the public to deliver services. We do ensure that all accounting officers are brought on board. We have regular circulars that we give the accounting officers. we do ensure that the local governments who are implementing this are given the guidelines they require to do the proper allocation of the resources. So we are ensuring that these gaps are going to be closed with the time. And we know that in the next round, we are going to have very good results.
Okay, now let's talk participation. I'm curious to know, and I believe our viewers out there are very interested in knowing what public participation, what role public participation plays in the budget process and how it is facilitated still by the Ministry of Finance.
Public participation, this morning, we are going to launch the National Budget Month. The purpose of the budget month is to create awareness about the budget, and all stakeholders take part in this budget month. And since 1918, we entered into a partnership with the civil society organization, including Uganda Network, to ensure that we involve all stakeholders in the budget process.
Okay.
And we are doing this, we've been doing this for a whole month. We shall be having a lot of engagements through the media, through dialogues, and even we shall be going to the local governments to ensure that the information about the budget is passed on to the people.
Okay, that sounds very interesting, but I'm curious, before I go to Penina, I'm curious to know how this participation is going to be, because the concern sometimes is that we do armchair participation, where you sit in your office, send a document to another office, and maybe go rent a conference hall in a beautiful hotel. How many Ugandans have access to this participation that we are talking about, or are given a chance to participate during this budget month?
No, we don't only sit in Kampala. We go to the regions. And even when you look at the program you have for this financial, the teams will be going to the local governments.
Okay.
And we invite all stakeholders, including councillors, including political leaders in the districts, including all representatives
Area
of the civil society.
chairpersons and whatnot.
And actually, what we've done now is, as a part of the initiatives to ensure that everybody knows what's going on in the budget.
Okay.
We've gone ahead to you know, we have now what they call the Assistance Guide to the Budget, a very simplified document that we give to the people across the country.
Something they can easily understand.
Relate to.
Okay.
And find and ask questions. What is this budget all about?
Okay.
We have also done a braille version
For the blind.
for the blind.
That's very good.
Audio, visual, and braille version for the blind. We are also planning to translate the budget to some of the local languages, because we want everybody to be on board.
Now that's very good news, because sometimes people feel left out. Now coming to you, Penina,
Yes.
as you do your research, and I like that I'm using the word research when I'm talking to a research assistant as well. What do you think are the main areas where Uganda needs to improve when it comes to transparency of the national budget, where we can go from 59 to even higher, and also considering issues of implementation and participation by citizens?
Okay, by the looks of it, when you look, most times transparency, they usually look at, like I told you, the comparative names of the key budget documents and how they are uploaded. One of the major things that I really see that have been really, where I've not been doing so well, it is in the citizens' budget. It has not been published in a timely manner. And when you look at the scores over time, at least it's one of the documents that has been really not doing so well. But and it's whereby it really touches the citizens. Like he said, the publishing it. Yes, they are doing it, but this thing has a time, they are doing it in a timely manner. In case you don't publish the document in a period, the specified period, of course they will count the document as something that is not there. So in case they do it in a timely manner, at least I think when it comes to transparency, we can at least excel, we can at least improve from the 59, probably we can go to our 60, then that means another rank or another score is for us.
Now, still as civil society, you go down to the grassroots,
Yes.
and you talk to the people. You did mention that you also take your time to teach them about the budget and even transcribe it for them to understand it properly.
Yes.
What would you say have been some of the impacts of lack of transparency when it comes to the national budget, and how has it how has it affected communities, the lack of transparency?
When it comes to, when there's no transparency, like I said, people are not satisfied about the government programs. Like they don't see any initiative that government is doing. When we go to those regional consultation meetings, people can, sometimes you can tell them something, be like, are you sure? Is it there? We don't know about it.
They're doubtful.
Yeah, they're doubtful. They'll be like, I don't know if we didn't know about this. So without transparency, people cannot even carry out the oversight role, or cannot even monitor their resources. When they're unable to monitor their resources, which means corruption is going to it's going to happen. Like it's something that really, and those people who are greedy for the resources will end up using them or utilizing them if the government had budgeted like for everyone.
Okay. Now, before I go back to Mr. Munginda, as we close, what would be your key recommendations to the government when it comes to budget preparation, budget transparency, implementation, and involvement of the citizens?
Since we did not perform so well in public participation, I think that's one of the parameters government should really look at so much, and look, because the report is already out there on the website, on the IBP website. At least government should look at the recommendation that were given and see how we can address some of the recommendations and the challenges, and then we put them into practice. So when it comes to public participation, I would encourage government, like, okay, I wouldn't encourage, like, how can I say, I would recommend government when it comes to approval. At least they should give in time to the public to engage. When it comes to the budget process, like those vulnerable groups, at least they should be put into consideration. Then when it comes to the audit report, at least with someone from the public has to give it a recommendation, or has to be there during the hearings of the audit report.
Well, Mr. Munginda, as we close, just in a few seconds, what would be your parting shots to Ugandans as the budget month is launched?
First of all, I encourage all Ugandans to participate in the budget process. I encourage all Ugandans to ensure that they know where their resources are going. I ask all Ugandans to demand for accountability. Demand for accountability from your leaders. Demand for accountability so that you get the services you require from government. As the Minister of Finance, we are committed to ensuring that we provide these resources, to provide the key services that the people of Uganda require to improve their lives. We are going to focus next financial year on ensuring that the people get out of poverty, and monetization of the economy is going to be a very key component in our budget. We are looking forward to starting a 10 growth strategy of the economy. We want to move this economy from US dollars 500 billion, 50 billion, to US dollars 500 billion in the next 15 years. And this is a very ambitious plan of government. And now that the NDP4 is going to be starting soon, we are going to ensure that the NDP4 carries these programs that are going to drive this country to where we want to be in the next 15 years. By 2040, we want our economy to be strong. We want to have an economy where all the services that we require can easily be achieved by our own resources.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Apollo Monginda from the Ministry of Finance and Economic Development, and Ms. Penina Naiga from the Uganda Debt Network. We've been speaking matters budget as Uganda did participate, and it scored highly in the Open Budget Survey 2023. We hope that we will even do better come this year when the report is released early next year. For now, we will take a short break. My name is Olive, and Good Morning Uganda continues.